So what has the London property market been up to in the first half of 2023? Well, make sure to stay tuned because I'm going to be giving you the market update that you're going to need to know. Hi everyone, Ugo Arinzeh with Onyx Property Team in Keller Williams. I am a London-based property agent and I love helping my clients buy, sell, rent, and manage property throughout London. In this video, we're going to be updating you on what's been happening in the London property market for the first half of 2023, giving you some key stats and hopefully seeing if we can make some sense of, is this ultimately a good time to buy or sell into the London property market and what it might be suggesting for the second half of the year. So let's dive in. First of all, let me give you a bit of context on the overall UK market and then we'll drill down into the London market. In the UK, for the year-on-year numbers through June of 2023, the average property price declined by 2.6%. This is according to one of the largest lenders in the UK, Halifax, and for them, they're showing that it represents the largest year-on-year decline since 2012. And it's actually a significant acceleration from the 1.1% rate that was showing as of May. It's one of the key stats that's actually showing that the UK market is slowing down off the back of numerous interest rate hikes, cost of living crisis, and economic uncertainty that is plaguing the UK market and quite frankly, many other places. The average home in the UK now stands at £285,000, which is £8,000 lower than the peak last August, according to the lender. This graph shows the annual change in UK property prices since 2000. As you can see, the huge slump during the 2008-2009 financial crisis, then the next dip is in late 2012, now followed by the current decline, which has been driven by higher mortgage rates and cost of living crisis. What this is showing is the results of the Bank of England's consistent interest rate hikes that really started kicking in late 2021 and has been quite repeated and systematic. The Bank of England rate now stands at 5% off of the most recent 0.5% hike in June. This has resulted in the 2-year fixed rate mortgage rates that are now above 6.5% and 5-year rates above 6%. This graph shows that trend line as well. What it's resulting in is a decline in transaction volume as home sales fell by 27% in May, according to HMRC, which is the Tax Revenue Service. There were 80,020 completed transactions in May, a 3% drop on April, according to the HMRC data. In London, things are definitely very challenging. I know, working with a lot of buyers and sellers, that we're seeing it on both fronts. We're seeing deals taking longer to transact. We're seeing price discounts. We're seeing sellers, struggling to get property sold and oftentimes not wanting to reduce their prices. So the stats are showing us that overall in June, property prices in London declined by 2.6%, which was one of the worst performing regions throughout the UK. The average property price in the capital now stands at £533,057, a loss of about £15,000 from the previous 12 months. This is the fastest monthly drop since the peak of 2009 global financial crisis. What's really scary is the drop in transaction volume, and this graph definitely demonstrates that. Transaction volumes in prime central London dropped by about 20% in the first half of 2023 compared to last year, according to data compiled by researcher Lonres. Deals priced at $5 million or more dropped the most as wealthy borrowers wait for signals on whether the next UK government will shake up the housing policy. What's happening is that there's a scheduled election for early next year, and a lot of people are nervous. What will the new Labour government, which is expected to win by landslide, put in store in terms of taxes and all kinds of implications of the housing market in the UK? Having said all that, the overall sentiment, while depressed and uncertain, it's not the fall off the cliff that people keep anticipating. I know a lot of people are always asking me to find them a great deal, but the reality is we haven't seen dramatic price drops across London as many would hope for if you're looking to buy. Instead, what we seem to be experiencing is more of a soft repricing of the market, even off the back of interest rates into the 6% range. Another dynamic that market commentators are saying is that although we've seen a tremendous increase in the mortgage rates, a lot of current fixed rate mortgages will take time as they look to expire and then they get hit. So it's not going to happen all at once, but certainly people who are coming off of the fixed rates are going to be experiencing much higher rates, but it will take its time to continue with each wave of people coming off those fixed rates getting hit. What we are seeing, as I mentioned, is a continued reduction in prices and less transaction volume. According to a recent Bloomberg article, the number of prime London properties going under offer in June, considered a leading sales indicator by Lonres, was actually 6.3% higher than the same month in 2022. What's more, the number of price reductions registered in the first half of 2023 is almost double the amount recorded in the same period last year, suggesting a motivation among some vendors to sell in anticipation of a significant house price decline. However, properties took 100 days to go from under offer to exchange between the period of April and June, compared with only 82 days in the same quarter of 2021. That's as the number of withdrawn offers grew 8% year on year to 493 in June, while the amount of deals falling through also declined in the same period by 4%. Starts, completions, and sales of private units and larger schemes have also seen a significant decline since the period of 2022, largely as a result of economic factors as well as the ending of the Help to Buy scheme. Housing schemes and launches are being delayed as a result of less demand and higher cost of borrowing for many borrowers. Well, are there any bright spots? I would say that the answer is yes, in that ultimately cash is king. If you're in a position where you have cash, you're definitely able to take advantage of the dynamics that we've mentioned. We're certainly seeing that with a lot of international buyers buying at the higher price points who are able to buy in cash and therefore not subject to mortgage interest rates or anything and can move pretty quickly. Here are some of the stats. Obviously, the people most able to purchase all cash tends to be at the higher price points, and therefore you're seeing some interesting dynamics at those higher ends. Full equity buyers bought 71% of homes in prime central London locations between January and May this year, compared to 60% in the same period of 2022, according to data from estate agent Savills. In outer London, cash buyers accounted for 35% of high-end homes between January and May 2023, up from 26% in the same period in 2022. Those locations with the highest concentration of international buyers, like Mayfair or Westminster or Marylebone, are outperforming others such as Richmond or Holland Park that are more associated with domestic buyers and where property values dropped in the first half of 2023. So, as you can see, there's definitely not a lot of good news, but I would say if you are a buyer who is in a position to buy in cash, this is definitely a great time. We're certainly achieving discounts for pretty much everybody we're transacting with as buying agents. And if you are looking to sell, then it really comes down to motivation, crunching your numbers, and really also not just looking at where things stand today, but do you really think that things are going to get better over the next 6 or 12 months? The tea leaves aren't giving us real clarity on that. I would say ultimately, the question about selling is always about what are you going to do with the money. So if the money is being tied up in a property that isn't serving you or the running costs are so expensive, think about the month in and month out, loss you're taking just for holding on to that property while you might be looking to achieve some kind of higher figure. Finally, on the rental market, we'll also mention while that's had a tremendous run since about this time 2 years ago, we're definitely seeing some softening as the market seems to be stabilizing. While there is still strong demand for rental properties and overall stock seems to be not keeping up with the demand, what we are seeing is that the record responses as we put units available for the rental market is definitely pulling back. So With all of that, if you are thinking of buying, selling, renting, or managing, I can't stress enough, it is so area specific and actually very personal. So these are overall headlines I've shared with you in this video, but if you are considering it and you want more of a direct consultation, please reach out. We're always happy to chat to you, understand what you're trying to achieve, and help give you the right data or information that might be more specific for you. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Please make sure to hit that like button or subscribe if this is your first time. Leave me a comment on anything I've written here, if you've got any points you want to debate or argue or anything else, and I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos on my YouTube channel where I share great tips and information about the London property market and living in this fabulous city. So that's Ugo Arinzeh with Onyx Property Team and Keller Williams. Bye for now.